Well, hello, everyone. It's Dr. Nick, your favorite personal growth coach, and welcome to another session of Adulting in My Purpose Live. You all know that I am so excited to be with you for another session of Adulting in My Purpose. So if you are joining for the first time, hello, welcome. Thank you for listening in. If you are a returning listener, welcome back. Thank you for all the support. You know what to do. Make sure you like, make sure you share, subscribe, tell your friends what we are doing here at Adulting in My Purpose. So for those that are listening in for the first time, just to introduce myself, my name is Dr. Nicole Rankin, better known as Dr. Nick. I'm a certified personal growth coach and the founder of the Adulting in My Purpose movement. And we are here to help young adults and millennials with their personal growth journey that will help them discover who they are, clarify their vision, and really get a plan to move to that next step in life. Well, how amazing will that be for those that are feeling stuck, those that are feeling overwhelmed, not really understanding how you fit in the world and what you want to do with your life? This is what we do, and this is why we are here. We have networking events, leadership summits, personal growth challenges. We host online resources for you to provide you with the tools that you need for success, not only in your professional life, whatever that may be, but also your personal life. So if you're a young adult between the ages of 20 to 35, this is where you need to be, and you need to get connected. So find us on Facebook, join our Facebook community, Adulting in My Purpose, Millennial Movement, and Lean In. So I'm excited this session. Each month we take time to highlight amazing millennials who are out there making moves, making an impact, living their purpose, and really have a story to share. But today is no different. So I'm excited that we are talking to Andre Albritton, and he is a graduate of Florida A&M University. All my FAMUs out there, I know we have so many. That's right. He has become nationally recognized investing nerd who trains people on building wealth through stock market and real estate investment trust, right? He's the founder of Millennials Next Door, a community dedicated to millennials building wealth to create financial freedom. And in addition to that, he has a podcast called Flavor Podcast, which focuses on many different flavors of investing with stocks, real estate, and entrepreneurship. Andre is known as a household name for ambitious millennials who are ready to reach and redefine wealth. How many of you out there need to redefine some wealth? All right. So I'm excited to introduce and welcome to Adulting in My Purpose, Mr. Andre. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well. I'm excited to be on the show. Thanks for having me.
I'm excited to have you here. I've seen you on the World Wide Web, with Instagram or Twitter, doing your thing and just truly having a passion to make a difference in the lives of our millennials and people like you to teach and educate. So I wanted to get you on the show so we can hear about your story and how you got to where you are and what you're doing. So just share with us your path. How did you get here today?
Yeah, sure. So I'm going to skip all the boring details. I'm going to the main items here. So for myself, and there's probably a lesson in this. This is actually my fourth business, actually.
Okay.
So I got started way back when in college. I was doing this website that just posted events in the city of Tallahassee, so parties and house parties. So I went from there. Started trying to do it in Atlanta, and then when I moved to Dallas, I've been working in insurance for a few years at that point. And I was just kind of getting bored, honestly. So I decided, hey, let me try and learn a new strategy. So I said, you know what? Let me learn money. I always thought I was good with money, and Dr. Nick, it just turns out I'm just really cheap. I wasn't that good with money at all. Yeah, who knew? So I decided, okay, well, I'm going to start posting some of the stuff I'm learning on my Instagram account. Keep in mind, my Instagram account, it was maybe me, 200 followers of close friends. And from there, it just eventually started growing and growing. So I could see that there was a demand for people my age and people younger than me and older than me who want to learn more about finance. So since then, it has been like an up and down battle to decide what type of financial influencer do I want to be. Do I want to be focusing on financial coaching? Do I want to be focusing on just entertainment? Eventually, I decided to focus on investing. So that's where I am now. That's why I'm planning on staying for the good term of the rest of my career in this, however long that may last. But yeah, so I've been in this business for about 4 years now, and surprised I'm still in business. I was like, okay, I'm in it to win it.
I love that. I love that. We teach entrepreneurs and we hear that statistics that most businesses fail within 3 to 5 years. So you're making it, you're doing it. That's a testament of your drive and your passion. So I'm just wondering, as a young person, you're going out, you're starting these business. What are some of the biggest challenges that you face as a millennial, just kind of establishing yourself in the world?
One, you might have noticed, but I don't have any like facial hair, and you can't see my gray hairs in this one.
Yeah.
So my age is always an issue. I'm 33 years old, but if someone just meets me, they don't think I'm like maybe 25, 26. So off rip, I have to always start setting my age in different ways. So like I kind of learned how to do that gracefully now. So I mentioned, I went to FAMU. I graduated in 2011. From that point, people kind of start doing the math in their head, and it's okay. Well, he's not 25 as I thought; he's at least 30. Right. So I kind of do that, showing some expertise in the background. So that one's been an ongoing issue, but it is what it is. You work with what you have. And then I think the next biggest challenge I think a lot of millennials face, and probably anyone trying to get into millennial demographics, is like just being entertaining enough and keeping up with the times. So content is king. It's definitely king in my industry. But again, it's difficult to create so much content that's valuable and not repeating itself, especially when it comes to finances. So that one's been a big battle for me. Luckily, I've been good enough to do it on Instagram, but still, it's trying to grow based off of that Instagram following and my own email newsletters.
Awesome. So let me ask you about a little bit about your business. And so who is your target? And, you talk about millennials and helping them. Why is that so important? Like, why did you pick that demographic?
I would say it's kind of my tip for social media. When I first started out, I did Twitter, I did LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and Instagram picked me. So essentially, I said, okay, I'm going to be on Instagram now. That seems to be where my demographic is. That seems to be who is really gravitating towards my content. So it's the same for me with the demographics. You'll probably, I don't think you'd be too surprised, but pretty much it's just been nothing but African women, usually ages 28 to 40, that mainly follow me, that mainly, buy my services. So that's become my demographic. They seem to be the ones that actually want to learn about investing on their own. So I just make sure I focus towards them now.
That's powerful, because a lot of times when people are starting business, they struggle with who they're going to target and what their niche is. A lot of people who start businesses say, I want to sell to everybody,
Right.
Yeah. So even talk about that, how important it is to kind of hone in and kind of know what that market is and how that drives your business.
Yeah, you're definitely 100% right. You have to find your niche. It's difficult. So you have to find something that, one, people are willing to pay for. Two, something that's interesting enough to you to keep on going. And three, you have to find something that they can see value in. So even, when teaching about investing, they might not see the value in it until a year or two later, because I do long-term investing. I'm not too much of a short-term trader. So, it's trying to say, hey, this is the actual value of it that you won't see now, but still sign up for the class.
Absolutely. And that's, I think for your generation, that's a hard pill to swallow, because even with millennials and even younger, our Gen Zers, they're into like that quick, I need it now. That long-term thinking is something that's really out of reach. So just even getting over those hurdles is amazing, that you keep focusing and finding your tribe and finding your people. So that is awesome. So, when we talk about just you, because you're in an industry that is very popular now, and just really, you're getting in there, you're teaching. So, what should leaders, let's see our seasoned leaders, our Gen Xers and baby boomers and, beyond, like how how do you suggest, like, I know that there is tension or communication gaps and things between generations. Like, what do you suggest to help kind of build those bridges?
Yeah, that's a very good question.
Mm-hmm.
From my experience, I'm thinking social media is probably the best platform
Mm-hmm.
and just providing good content.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely have to love what you do, because
Mm-hmm.
at times, when you're doing social media, you might have, like, let's just start 100,000 followers. Maybe 10 people actually buy the service or the product. So you have to love what you do, and you have to just really dig in deep and provide good content for people. Have a desire to want to help people. I think that really shows through everything.
Yeah.
And I'll say one thing that companies are realizing now is, through the eyes of influencers, millennials and Gen Z, we don't really want to be sold to in the old-fashioned sense. We're more so looking just to see the value, see that they're actually on our same level, see that they have the same values as us, core values mainly. And from there, it's like, okay, this is someone I can follow and someone I wouldn't mind connecting with in the near future when I do need them.
Wow. You said something very powerful. I want you to expound on that a little bit. You talked about, how millennials now are looking for value, right? Gone are the days where they want to be sold to, or just kind of in that place where this is what you should do. You want purpose. So what are some of the core values that you have for yourself or you see amongst your peers in your generation?
So I'll just speak for myself. My main core value, I'm a customer service kind of guy. So I've been in insurance, it's kind of, you deal with difficult people often. So, just kind of got to be nice. Yeah. So I treat it just like the golden rule. I would want them to do to me what I'm doing to them. So in the sense, well, okay, I'm providing good content. And it's like, okay, this content can really help you. I mean, like, all the stuff I provide, the blueprint is right there. And it kind of goes back to the niche as well. One thing I have noticed is, you can provide all the figures, you can give people a game plan. Some people still want their handheld a little bit through the process. And those are typically the people that actually sign up for my course. So I say, okay, well, I can provide content and I can still help people who need their handheld. So at the end of the day, I practice the golden rule. I think that has been what truly has gotten me through a lot of these past years. It's like, okay, well, I'm just going to treat people nice. That's how I would want to be treated. I'm not going to try to scam anybody. I don't want to be scammed. I'm going to provide good content. And at the end of the day, I want to see them win so I can win as well.
Wow. Powerful. That win-win attitude. So, you seem like you just kind of have that right mindset that keeps you motivated, and you're very passionate about what you do. So what do you do to kind of keep yourself motivated and engaged? I know entrepreneurship is not an easy thing, but you said you've done it 4 times. So what is it that keeps you motivated and engaged to keep going?
I hate to say it's probably not the typical answer, but honestly, I just get bored sometimes. So that's usually why I create businesses, is I'm just kind of bored. I just want to create something. I want to see how it does. I want to see what this might look like. So, essentially, that's it right now. So in these times, I'm going to say, okay, my regular job, 9 to 5, doing insurance, but even between them, it's like, it's a little bit boring to me. So I just need something to entertain myself. And then what also keeps me going is my students' energy. Okay. So my energy matches other people's energy. Yeah. What's the guy's name? E.T. the hip hop preacher, the motivation.
Yeah. Eric Thomas. Yeah,
Eric Thomas. He's amazing. His energy, awesome. Top notch all the time.
Yes,
I can't do that by myself. If I don't have students like asking good questions, wanting to learn, then my energy is going to fall right back down with them. So, they really do keep me going. And so does the social media following. That helps me going as well. Just good to discuss with other people who want to talk about the same things I want to talk about, so we can all reach our own definition of wealth. Like that's the main drive behind this business. I
love that what you said just there is kind of just making sure that you're in a community. You talked about being connected with like-minded people. And that's a good thing for anybody who's listening that kind of feels, I know I talk to a lot of millennials in their transition, trying to get them established in this adulthood, and just feel like they're by themselves. But I'm like, you don't have to do it by yourselves. Like, who told you that lie? Get with people, get with the community. So I love the fact that you have that community like lifestyle, and you also are building a community, and it's called Millennials Next Door. Is that right?
Yep. So I just call it my investing cohort. That seems to be the name that's sticking with it. And,
Okay.
that's just for the people who want to learn a little bit more about it, learn more about my opinions and everything. So we'll just kind of bounce ideas off of each other.
Mm-hmm.
So just as an example, we're doing this recording in February. So the whole Russia and Ukraine thing is a big deal in the markets. So it's kind of like providing guidance on that now. So that one's interesting to me, interesting to them. We have some good conversations.
Yes. Awesome. I love it. So who or what really inspires you?
Yeah. For me, what really inspired me is I just like to be known for something. I think I really recognized that my first business in college. To give a brief background, it's like mainly a Twitter page and a website. No one knew who was actually behind the account. So that's kind of like fun for me. But it's just kind of good to be known in the sense it's like, okay, people are actually using this product or this service. I'm able to provide something good for someone, help change someone's day perhaps for the better. So that's what's really been a main purpose for me, honestly.
I love that. I love that. And as we are going through life, there are people that we need, especially when you're going after your dreams, doing things that you love. Like you said before, it's good to be connected. So what role does a mentor or a coach kind of play in your life?
I don't have like the typical mentor in the sense where I'm able to call them. I found out that was a little bit difficult because, it's like, hey, you have to find someone who's successful. Yeah. You have to have the time to really nurture you throughout the process. So one tip I've learned is, hey, they don't need to know that they're your mentor or anything, that you're their mentee. So I found people online that are doing what I want to do. And I just kind of follow everything they've been doing. So if they do an interview just like this, I'm going to listen in on it. Like, they don't know they're my mentor, but they honestly are. So I've been finding them through Instagram mainly. I found like my main 4 people. And from them, I'm just like able to learn, say, okay, this is what they're doing. This is what I could possibly do. And then, every now and then I'll reach out on Instagram just to see if I can get a response, see if I can get them on the podcast show one day.
It's going to happen. But I love the fact that you said that, because a lot of people don't put themselves out there, and they, as we say, suffer in silence a lot of times because we don't feel like, okay, we have that one-on-one, but you make it happen. And there's such an opportunity, whether following them on Instagram or social media, reading books, you can get that type of mentorship and coaching, just not in that traditional way. So I love the way that you take yourself and take initiative to get what you want, right? To get what you need to be successful.
As entrepreneurship is just about moving forward no matter what the obstacle. And especially in times like this, where you can be in a celebrity's life like 24/7 essentially. Yeah. So if your mentor wants to be Mark Zuckerberg, I'm sure he has plenty of books about himself out there of how he got started. You can probably learn a lot more from that through a dinner. So I'm just like, hey, I'm gonna find my mentor either way or not, and I'm gonna make it work.
I love that. And that, for those listening out there, think about that. Think about what it is that you want to do in life and find those people that are doing it. Yes, know that, you're unique and, the way you do it will be different, but there's some people that are gone a step ahead of you and are doing it right and have some things that they can share and you can learn from. So again, this whole adulting thing doesn't have to be done in secret. It's okay to get some help. It's okay to reach out, to find people and ask for help and learn from other people and not necessarily have to make some of the same mistakes that have been done in the past. So I love.
Please don't. We're all in the same boat.
Tell them again, Andre. Tell them again.
All in the same boat, y'all. Trust me. On Instagram, you only see the highlight reels. You don't see a lot of the bloopers behind the scenes. So yeah, trust me, we all making a lot of mistakes. And if you're not, then you're probably not doing it right.
See, I love that. I love that. So just asking, you seem kind of, not only you're serious about your coins and everything, but you seem like fun. So what do you do? What are some things you do for fun?
Oh man, in my true Atlanta blood,
ATL.
Yeah, it's just about going outside, drinking, smoking hookah, hanging with friends. Once the weather gets better, I'm gonna go to Piedmont Park, go to
Uh,
some festivals, and I'm very excited. Like one thing I do in my house, I'm always big on making money. Obviously, it's kind of what I do. So I'm having an Airbnb guest come in because I got 2 empty rooms, and empty rooms that don't sit well with me. I gotta make some money off of it.
I love
I have
it.
my own balcony on my side of the house. I'm very excited for the springtime. I'm gonna be outside on my balcony, chilling, just having a good cold beer and being nosy with my neighbors.
There you go. I love it. I love it. I love the balance of making sure that you live and enjoy life as well, and creating that wealth gives you that opportunity to have that type of freedom of choice.
That's what it's all honestly all about. It's trying to find your balance and what makes you happy. I can't say this enough, but when you're racing, not only is it a marathon, but it's a single race. You don't have to race against anybody. You don't have to follow anyone else's race, because at the end of the day, it's not my life, it's your life. So do what works well for you. I'm do what works well for me.
I love that. Run your race. I always say maintain your lane.
Yes.
Stay in your lane. I love that. So, let's kind of dig deep and think about there are millennials just like you out there. Maybe they graduated from college, maybe they didn't, maybe they just kind of seeking like, what am I gonna do in life? What is my purpose? How do I fit in this world? Like, what advice would you give and tell them?
My advice is I got 2 quick points. The first one is don't stress it too much. Just because it's difficult to find your purpose in life. It's truly a mindset. And especially to find a business where people are going to pay you for your purpose in life, that can be difficult, I promise. And the second one is kind of break down what you really like to do and what might be your purpose. So I think usually some people might think, for me, it's like my purpose in life is teaching people about finances. I don't really believe that. I think my purpose in life is really just to help people, and I'm just able to help people through finances. Like, that's it. I do the same thing through insurance. One thing I do like in life is just helping people. So if I can do that through insurance, if I can do that through teaching people how to invest, so they can, get the finances set up and they can retire early or just do whatever they would like to do in life. Then, that's become my purpose in life. So not necessarily finance. It's really just about helping people. I just do that through finance.
Yeah, I love the fact that you said that, because a lot of times people or young people like self and even younger struggle and put that stress and kind of like it's kind of self-sabotaging, because it's self-induced stress and anxiety on trying to find this purpose. And what I do as a personal growth coach, and when I'm working with my clients, we talk about what are the things that you like to do. What are we're naturally gifted at things, right? There are things that we kind of naturally, there's kind of things that we have to work at, but what are those things that you naturally do? Like, and you said that you like helping people. It's a natural gift. It's something innate within you to give and help, but then you just find that avenue and that medium. And for you, it's finances, it's insurance, that those things. For somebody else, it might be medicine, it might be law, it might be entrepreneur, whatever that medium is, that's where you find it. And I love the fact that you said, write down things, try it out. You never know.
It can't hurt. It really can't. I mean, we only got one life to live, to my knowledge. So, hey, get it out the way. Let's see.
Absolutely. Try it out. I think a lot of times we're kind of scared to put ourselves out there and get out of our comfort zone. That's more and more like it, because it's easy to stay in the comfort. But we know when you want to do some great things, you want to help a lot of people, make an impact, you got to take risks. You got to get outside the comfort zone. Talk about that a little bit.
No, I'll tell my quick story. The way I found out what works well for me in the financial industry, which is investing, is I got out my comfort zone. So I'm like, starting off, I was pretty shy in front of the camera. And then eventually I said, I'm just going to do something. So I decided I'm going to do an investing somewhere. I'm actually teaching somebody some investing. I got, 4 other people I know in the same industry. And that one event, it made pretty much all the money I need for my business for the whole year. So I said, okay, this is what one, people are willing to pay for. Two, I actually have some type of talent that I didn't know I had. But it's like, hey, if I didn't step out my comfort zone, I don't think it would have ever gotten to this point, honestly. While I'm doing a podcast, while I'm doing like YouTube channel shows.
Yeah.
I don't think it would have ever got to this point because I was still been inside that little comfort zone. And as you mentioned before, growth is outside that comfort zone. It really is. You got to step out.
Absolutely. Got to take those risks. So let's kind of talk about, as a personal growth coach, I focus on just having that self-development for people to really tune in, because no matter what you do, you have to take care of yourself. And mentally, you talked about mindset. So what do you do for your personal growth and development? What are some things that you do?
A lot of things for me. I listen to podcasts in the financial world. I watch YouTube videos in the financial world. Yahoo Finance has become one of my top tools lately. So oftentimes it's just listening to other people's opinions, because at the end of the day, it's similar investing is. There's no like yes or no answer. So you listen to other people's opinions, seeing how other people do things in their side, seeing what might be able to help my clients. But overall, that's been my main go-to for personal growth. I just want to get other opinions so I can say, okay, you know what? I was a little bit wrong about those. I didn't know about that particular stock. It helps me grow and helps me ask better questions about these stocks. So I'm able to pass on that knowledge to my clients, just my following in general.
I love that. And so you do that for your business. So what are some of the things that you kind of do for yourself, kind of just self-care? Do you have anything specific that you do?
Yeah, my self-care is about blasting music in my house. I'm pretty big on speakers.
I love it.
I'll blast some music. As I mentioned, chew out lantern. I'll smoke some hookah. I'll just relax and do a little bit of work at the same time. So just like my relaxed mindset, I'm able to really get some other things done.
Yeah,
it's just nice to just chill out. That's one of my main things in life I like to do is chill out.
I love it. I love just taking time for you. There's nothing wrong with that. We always say, people think self-care is selfish, but that self-care is your self-worth, So you got to take time. Yeah, you got to take time.
It's needed. Otherwise, you would get burned out fast.
Absolutely. Quickly. Absolutely. I agree. So, let's talk about, you've talked about that you had multiple businesses and just sharing in your story. Can you describe kind of like an example of an obstacle that you had to face, right? So when we know young people face obstacles, but how did you overcome it? Like, what are some of the things that you did to overcome that obstacle?
There are so many examples of that. Man, so many. I think the major one is credentials. So in the financial world, you have something called a certified financial planner. You can get a Series 65, 66, 75, so on and so on. One thing I do have to constantly face actually is like, hey, this guy is not, he doesn't have any credentials. And to kind of go back in on that, the reason why I don't have credentials is because I think it'll scare off some of my main core people. Because I want them to be able to see like, hey, you don't need to have this designation to invest in stocks, right? Anyone can honestly do it. If you put in enough time and effort into it, you can do it. But still, you have the other side of the people say, hey, you don't have any credentials. Why would I trust your advice at all? So that is an ongoing battle. I was like, I'm always like on the fence about, should I get the CFP? Should I not do it? Yeah. Is it just so I can show it off and have no effect on my clients? Or would it actually help them? I kind of come to terms it probably won't help them. Not directly, at least. It's probably help me more, just get maybe in some articles here and there. But again, that one's been the biggest obstacle. So the way I've been overcoming it is I just continue to post my content, show people like, hey, this is what I'm doing on my side. This is what's been working on my side. Again, no credentials. It's not needed. You can be a DIY investing fool anytime.
Wow, that's powerful. I love that. So let's talk about, I know you, one of the questions I asked, you talked about just making an impact and helping people. So I'm sure there is things that you see in the world that, you want to change, you want to be a difference maker. So if you could change one thing in the world, what would it be and why?
Ooh, man, that's a very deep
just
question.
one.
Just one.
We don't have that much time. Just what?
You know what? I'm gonna be cheesy. I'm gonna say I just wish everyone would just treat everyone else how they would want to be treated themselves. Because like driving on the road, for example, you have someone just cut you off, just out the blue. That wasn't even necessary. So it's just, I don't know. I think if everyone was a little bit nicer, or you treat people like how you treat your mom or your father, I think this world would be way better off. Because I think a lot of times people just don't think about the effects it has on someone else, or how that can ruin someone else's day.
I love that, and it's cheesy and it's simple, but it's powerful, right? It can make the world a different place if we treat people the way we want to be treated.
It really could, because it's like littering, for example. If you don't want someone littering in your house, don't do it outside. That's probably one of my pet peeves, especially if you're in a car. Put it in the back seat like I do. I throw all my trash in the back seat. I'll clean it up later.
Just make sure you get it out later.
Eventually. If I do Uber driving, then I'll get it out then.
I love it. So are there any things that you do like for the community? I know a lot of millennials are kind of big on community investments and things of that nature. What are some of the things that you do, if any?
Yeah, so for me, I am a part of the Atlanta Urban League for the Young Professionals.
Okay.
So awesome. I was really active. What year is it? 22. I was active in 2021 and 2022 and 2019. So I was a personal professional development chair as well as the parliamentarian. We're just helping out millennials navigate life throughout here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And then outside of that, I do free investment classes here from, here to there. And that's my way to say, okay, if someone does want to learn investing, they don't have the money for it. That's cool. I do one free class per month. Be there at the class. Keep it on moving.
I love it. So I love that. That's important. I know for your millennial generation, that's a big component of why they do what they do. So much research shows that there has to be some sense of purpose in what you do and what they do. So I love the fact that you talked about that, right?
It has been a very interesting experience because actually, I think the first class I had for investing, I made it free for everyone. It was a little bit disheartening. I think that's like one side they don't show you about entrepreneurship is, it can be disheartening at times. So like 800 people signed up, free investing class. I put a lot of work into it. And for this one, Dr. Nick, I think maybe no more than 10% people actually took the course.
Wow.
Right? No more than 10% finished the course in its entirety. I want to say maybe 3% finished the whole course. But it's just like, man, you just put so much work behind the scenes. You put out all this good stuff. It's like, hey, this is an actual blueprint to wealth. This is all you need to do for free. Yeah, at the end of the day, not everyone really buys it. So that one's been a shocker for me.
Yeah.
Especially, when I look at other stores such as like Payless or JCPenney's. But when you don't charge enough, people don't believe it. So it's like you got to slap a big price tag on it to help people believe it and put some work into it.
Yeah, and you that is such a key to anybody who wants to be out there to start a business. That when we see on social media is great. But people put their best out on social media, right? You can get disheartened and think, oh, I can do it. It's going to be great. You got the bling, you got the money, you got people posing as the fancy car. All of that looks great. And then you start a business and you're like, where's my customers? Why am I not making any money, right? So you got to be able to, like you said, just keep with it. And although things are times may be disheartening, you find what works and find your people and keep putting content and you attract the people that will purchase, because there is somebody out there that wants your service, right? But you have to do the work and do the grunt work to find them and find your tribe. So thank you for sharing that, because we need to be real about this entrepreneurship. So many people are wanting to do it, but it's not all glitz and glams, right? It's not.
I don't think most of it is
Right.
glam.
Although it may
Man.
look like on social media,
Yeah,
but
that
it's that behind the scenes, up all night, making sure things work. Yeah, it's hard, but it is rewarding, right? And that's
it
why
is.
you do what you do, right?
And you know, I definitely think entrepreneurs is just something that's kind of inside of you. This is part of my entrepreneurship story, and it's a realization I had. I forget with whatever job I was doing, but at one point in my life, I just realized I'm a sucky employee, and I took that to heart. It's like, you know what, Andre, I don't think you're gonna make a lot of money being an employee because I'm not putting a lot of work into it. And I was just like, when I'm doing work for myself, I'm going to put in more effort, put more details in. I'm like wide awake, paying attention to it. Anyone else's work, it's a little bit iffy there. I say, okay, no, Andre, I think you should probably find your own business just in case.
Yeah. I love that. And that, you know, that's that type of self-awareness is just one of the things that I teach in my course is having that self-awareness. You got to know you know, you got to know your personality. You got to know how you're wired, how you think, how you will work best, what you like, what you don't like. And I think a lot of times, not only millennials or young people, people in general really don't take the time to know who they are until it's like too late or they have to, right? And usually it's because something has happened that they now go into this kind of self-reflection and self-introspective mode. But that's not a normal thing to do. So I love the fact that you know yourself, right?
No, you gotta be proactive. Because I know myself. You know, I related to finance just because anything can be related to finance nowadays.
Yeah.
But it's like for some people, they can keep money in a savings account. I honestly can't. If I got too much money in my account, I'm gonna spend it. So I got to hide my money. I'm hiding my own money from myself. It's, okay, this is going over there. This is going over there. Just so I don't see it, so I don't spend it. It just works out bad for me. But you know, as you mentioned, you have to know yourself. You have to know yourself as an entrepreneur. And just because one, entrepreneurship might not be for everyone, like it's difficult, honestly. And then two, entrepreneurship might be the only way for you, honestly, too. So yeah, you just got to know yourself.
I love that. I love that. So tell us as we will wrap up. This has been a great conversation. I love your story. I love your passion, your tenacity, and the things that you're doing to help bring awareness and education about wealth and redefining wealth. And you know, I know even within our culture, it's so needed because we have to kind of shift our mindset about money. And in order to build that long-term wealth and generational wealth, as we call it, right? Leaving that legacy to your children and your children's children. So it will pass the time. So, you know, how can people get in touch with you? What's coming up? Let us know.
Yes. So for me, Millennial Fashion, you guys can follow me on Instagram. That's when you'll see the majority of my content. I'm at the Millennials Next Door. I always have to do live sessions. And one thing that I'm sure Dr. Nick has mentioned before, but I don't be afraid to reach into someone's inbox because, hey, sometimes I just be bored at my job and I'm just looking through my inbox, see if anyone has any questions. So I'd be more happy to help out anyone. Outside of that is the podcast, the Flavor Podcast. It's on all major platforms. And there we just talk about investing. That's like it. We just talk about investing, straight investing, good stories, good guests. You know, biased opinion, but it's a highly recommended show.
I love it. I love it. And then when does it usually air? People don't get it.
Yep.
And what platforms are it on?
Yeah, the major platforms is going to be Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. And then outside of that, as far as like the shows, we do one every single Monday. And we just kind of give like a brief wrap up of what happened on Wall Street the past week, just so you know what's going on in the world. And then bi-weekly on every Wednesday, I'll come in on doing another episode. So, for example, I think the last episode I did was, why do stocks still drop when they beat earnings expectations? It's a common question people have. There's reasons for it. And at the end of the day, it's just about understanding investing more. So you can become an intelligent and independent investor.
I love it. I love it. So, guys out there, make sure you follow Andre on Instagram, Millennial Next Door. Check out the podcast for those who are interested in investing, learning how to redefine wealth. He has a wealth of knowledge, and he's teaching you guys. Come on now. There's no excuses to be broke anymore. Okay. Because
No, it's not. Yeah.
no excuses to be broke. There's so many resources out there, and there are people like Andre who are willing and ready and passionate to show you the way. So make sure you support Instagram and then catch the Flavor podcast. So this has been exciting. I love learning about you, just hearing your story and all the golden nuggets that you have dropped about your life, entrepreneurship. So one of the final question that I always ask my guests, this is all about adulting in my purpose. What does adulting in my purpose mean to you?
Man, that's another deep question. Okay. When I hear adulting in my purpose, to me, that just means being a responsible adult. In the essence, I'm able to continue and maintain my lifestyle that I do want to do, but still be able to do one of my passions. And again, my passion is just helping people. So I feel like through this business, I have been able to do that. I mean, every year, it's like a small profit or a large profit. Just depends on the year. But it's like, okay, you know what? I didn't come out of pocket to really help people invest more. So yeah, that's been my adulting in my purpose.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Yes.
Thank you for coming on, sharing your story, sharing just your lessons learned. It has been phenomenal just getting to know you and hearing everything that you're doing to help people and help our community. Awesome.
Yeah, thank you for having me again, and love the show. Keep doing what you're doing out here.
Thank you so much. So guys, this is what Adulting in My Purpose, the movement, is all about. We are bringing amazing guests here to help young leaders just like yourself discover who they are, help them clarify the vision, and develop a plan to take their next steps in life. So join us again next week for another. Come on back. If you enjoyed this, we're going to have another guest that's going to share their story and just continue to help and inspire you to do your best. So again, come back next week for another amazing episode of Adulting in My Purpose. And until then, you know what to do. You be blessed and you stay safe. Good night.